Welcome to another edition of the Burnout. This is going to be the Mother's Day special. And on this special, we're going to salute all the mothers out there because we know you had a tough job. I know my mama had a tough job with me because I was a handful. I don't know the truth about it. But we're going to take a few minutes to give all the mothers out there the acknowledgement. And like I said, we want to give the mothers their roses right now. But before I start, I want to give a quote of the day, and the quote of the day is, do not allow somebody to build you up because they would know how to tear you down. So don't look for validations within nobody. Validate your own self. Know your own worth, because if you allow people to put a price tag on you, metaphorically speaking, they're always going to underbid. They're going to put the lowest price tag on you. So you never let another person tell you what you're worth. But at the same time, you never get to the point where you are egotistical to think that your value is way higher than it is. Always stay even keel. Once again, happy Mother's Day. And I want to send this shout out to all the good mothers out there. All the mothers that struggled to raise their kids, and all the mothers that fought a valid battle to be where you are today. I'm finna ruffle some feathers, and I don't really care. But this is my take on Mother's Day. Just because you had kids don't mean you're a mother. If you didn't take care of your kids, this message ain't for you. If you didn't raise your kids, this message ain't for you. And I'm sorry if I offend anybody, but Mother's Day is set aside for the ones who raised their kids, not the one who had them. And a lot of people get it conceived that just because you have kids, you're a mother. No, you're not a mother. A mother raises their kids. A mother nurtures their kids. A mother takes care of their kids. A mother is there for their kids. And true enough, let's just be honest, there are some kids that you can nurture, you can do everything you want to do for them, and they gonna go astray. We understand that. But let's just talk about the good mothers who sacrifice their needs and wants for their kids. That's the ones I want to focus on right now. I want to focus on the ones that you didn't give your kids to somebody else to take care of. You took care of them. You didn't put your kids' needs on hold for your selfish reasons. And I'm gonna talk about my mother for a real quick minute. My mama sacrificed a lot for us. There's been times where she didn't have enough, and she made sure we did. There was time when we got stuff for Christmas, and I still from this day don't know how she did it, but she did it. And I want to send a heartfelt message out to those who have lost their mothers, because that is an irreplaceable commodity that nobody can ever duplicate. I don't care. Your stepmother can't duplicate it. Your godmother can't duplicate it. You only have one mother, and there's nobody in this world that can step in and do what she do. There's nobody in the world who can sacrifice what your mother can sacrifice. There's nobody who's willing to put their needs on hold to make sure you've taken care of. There's no replacing that woman. And I have friends who've lost their mothers and fathers. And I can only imagine this time of year that the toll it takes on them mentally and physically. But we're going to acknowledge today all the mothers out there who raised their kids, who sacrificed their well-being, who gave up some of their dreams to make their kids' dreams a reality. That's the one we want to talk about. And a mother is something that I can honestly say that a lot of people take for granted. They don't appreciate them until they're gone. And that's the one person that you could talk to when you can't talk to nobody else. That's a person that probably knew you was wrong a lot of times, but they still didn't turn their back on you. They still chastised you, told you that you were wrong, but they always stood there. They never would turn their back on you, no matter what you did, no matter how bad you did it, no matter how many times you've done it. They were going to give you chance after chance after chance after chance. I cannot give you how many chances a real mother would give their kids. It's unlimited. And that's the parents I want to talk about. That's the mother I want to talk about. They don't get enough credit for the things that they've sacrificed. They don't get enough credit for the things they did without, which is part of their sacrifice. No matter how many times I got in trouble, and I got in trouble a lot too. She never turned away from me, and I'm puzzled by this new age of mothers that give your kids to their grandparents and want them to raise them, but then you want to come back and want to act like you are a parent. You're not a parent if somebody else raising your kids. I don't care how many you got. If you didn't raise them for one reason or another, now if you had a disability or a sickness, I understand that. Then this doesn't apply to you. But if you were able to raise them and you didn't, don't expect no Happy Mother's Day from me. Because you're not a mother to me. You are a careholder. A mother is somebody who a real mother does not give their kids to somebody else to raise. A real mother does not turn their back on their kids when they need them the most. A real mother is a protector over their kids. And a real mother is willing to give what it takes to make sure their kids are in good standing, good health, that they have the things that are necessary for them to have to succeed. Those are the kind of mothers that I'm talking about. And we have a lot of good mothers out there that do not get the credit, that do not get the acknowledgement, that does not get the recognition. They do not get anything because you know why and a lot of them don't want it because they say, this is what I was supposed to do. My job is to raise my kids. My job is to not allow somebody else to raise them. I come from the old school. I got so many women, I lost count. At some point, I just lost count of how many I got. But these parents today, I've heard this before. I'm not gonna do my kids like my parents did me. Well, if you look at you survived and you're a better person of it. When you give a child too much, too fast, the lack of appreciation is bound to come. There's no ifs, ands, buts, maybes about it. When you let them work for it, but you there side by side standing with them, so if they fall or they stumble, you'll help them up. That is the best parent there is, not the one that's gonna hold their hand and every time they stumble or fall and put a Band-Aid on their knee. The real parents allow you to fall because they know when you get back up, you'll be a stronger person for that. I hate when I hear parents tell saying, well, I'm not going, and I just said it a minute ago, I'm not going to put my kids through what I went through. What did you go through that was so horrific that didn't make you a better person? Build your character, build your work ethic. It built you to who you are now. So you want to make it a lot easier for them so they don't have to go through the struggles and the sacrifices you went through. Okay, I get that. But when they get on their own, if you've been pampering them the whole time, how are they going to know how to make it now? How are they going to know what sacrifice means? How are they going to know what struggling means? That's what parents do. The real parents allow you to struggle, but they always there to help you when you need it. The real parents, in my opinion, are the ones who guide you, not steer you. The real parents are the ones who go to 9 to 5s or deal with a job they know they don't like just to make sure you got clothes, make sure you got somewhere to stay, make sure you got food to eat. That's what the real parents do. You got a lot of people running around here calling themselves mothers, and they don't know what the definition of a mother is. Just because you had a kid and give it to your grandmother, or your granddaddy, or your cousin, or your aunt, that doesn't matter. That doesn't make you a owner, that makes you a donor. What sacrifice that you give, or what sacrifice that you do that puts you in so you can be characterized as a mother? If you didn't sacrifice for your kids, if you didn't take care of your kids, if you didn't provide their needs, I don't know how you can tell me you're a parent of any kind. We need to get off this high horse thinking that everybody is a mother, that everybody can do what a mother does. You don't know how many nights that your mother stayed up trying to figure out how to provide for you, or cooking just enough for you and not having nothing for her to eat, but never complained about it. You never took time out to think of, with all she was going through, how she sacrificed to make sure you had Christmas presents, that you had enough to eat, that she took you out and made sure that you were well taken care of, and you do not know how in the world she could have possibly done it with the income she was making. And I want to, and the strength of a mother is unmatched by anybody. I don't care who it is. I don't care what you think you got. The strength to endure, the strength that they have is something that I have never seen from another group of people in my life. Some of the things that a mother has to tolerate mentally as well as physically, but just the mental part of it. The average person couldn't even come close to enduring that. The ups and downs when your kids get in trouble, and we look at them like, won't you cut them loose? Well, we know they're not going to do it. They are going to go down with the ship. They're going to be there even when we think that I would have gave up a long time ago. They did not. They have never. A good mother has never thrown the towel in. She will fight to her last breath. She will protect you with her last breath. I've seen mothers sacrifice themselves in ways that I couldn't even explain. I've seen out of my own eyes a mother locked herself out of her van. The car was rolling back. Her child was in the back of the van in a car seat. She tried to stop the car physically. Couldn't do it. This woman laid down behind the wheel of the tire to stop the car. Who in the world would do that but a mother? I've seen mothers put themselves in between their kids to protect them from harm. I've seen a mother that up in Michigan, a dog, I can't remember what kind of dog it was, going to attack her child. This woman put herself in between her and the dog and protected her kid with her life. I've seen them cover up their kids and take the blunt of an impact. They don't do it because that's the right thing to do. They do it because they are protectors. That's what they do. They will guard their kids with their life, and not many people will make that sacrifice. And it's done without a thought of their own safety. That's what makes a mother so special. A good mother will not allow you to abuse her kids. She will fight you to the last breath. Even if she can't win, she's going to put the fight of her life up. And if you think that's going to be an easy fight, I don't care about your size. That is not going to be an easy fight. And that's probably going to be a fight that you're going to lose. A good mother protects her kids if it causes her to sacrifice her body in the process. And I'm not saying a man won't do that, but we are not on Father's Day right now. We're on Mother's Day. We're going to give the mothers their roses while they're here, while they can smell them. But that's what a mother means to me. The sacrifice they're willing to take. What they give up to make sure you have. And all those that have lost their mothers, I can only sympathize for you. I cannot fathom what you're going through today, because it is a heavy load. And it's a load that I'm not sure that I could carry, but you have carried it. But your mother installed a good mother, and I keep saying good because I want to make a distinction between a good mother and a bad mother, because we have some bad mothers out there. This message is not for the bad mothers, because you are not the people, you're not the group I'm talking about. A good mother does not abuse their kids. They do not mistreat their kids. They discipline their kids. They teach them lifelong lessons. They do not abandon them. They do not leave them where they can go on a trip. They do not leave them where they can go and party. They do not leave them unprotected or unguarded. That is what a good mother will never do. She will never leave her kids abandoned. She will never leave them unprotected. She will never leave them where they have no guardian. Your child depends on you totally. If you do not protect them, if you do not guide them, if you do not have the ability to treat them and not mistreat them, then you're not a mother. A mother will not go to the club and leave her kids at home by herself. A mother will not ditch her kids on somebody else so they can go and party. That's not what a mother does. A mother will not leave her kids so they can go on a cruise. They can go out to Miami, Florida, and they live in Atlanta, Georgia. A mother does not do that. A mother will make sure her kids are safe and in a safe place if they have to go, but they're not going to party knowing their kids are unprotected. That's not what a good mother does. I've read articles of mothers, or so-called women. I'm not going to call them mothers because I don't want to desecrate the name of mother. You went on a 6-day cruise and left your infant at home by itself, and when you come back you find out and they died. That's unexcusable. Or you throw your kids off on your grandparents because you don't want them. You should have made that decision way before now. So I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to the ones that allow the TV to raise your kids. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to the one that letting social media show how your child should come up. You're not the one I'm talking about. When I say good mothers, you don't apply. You have not installed anything in your kids but how to abandon them, how to put them off on somebody else, and you want to live your best life and leave your kids to be taught and grow and be raised by somebody else. If that's what you do, or if that's what you've done, you're not the one I'm talking about. The real parents raise their kids. The real parents nurture their kids. The real parents discipline their kids. The real parents teach their kids life lessons. The real parents are there to help them up when they fall. The real parent is always in attendance, even when you don't know they're there. That's what real parents do. So I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to leave it alone. I want to say Happy Mother's Day to Miss Annie Jewel Knight. Um, I want to say happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, all the good mothers out there in the world who've given up things that they want to sacrifice for the things your kids need. I want to take my hat off and show sympathy, empathy, compassion to all the people who have lost mothers, and there is a lot of them I know. It's too many for me to name, so I'm just gonna say I'm with you. I'm showing compassion towards you, because I know this is a difficult day. The old saying go, time heals all wounds. Well, let me put this in another way. Time does not heal all wounds. Time makes things bearable. It makes you be able to deal with them better. But it's not going to heal the loss of a mother, ever, or anybody in that case. So once again, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. This once again was a Mother's Day special. We'll see you next week, same time, same place on the Burnout. And I'll remember, always flame up, never burn out. I'm giving you the 2 fingers. Peace.